Have you ever had somebody leave you and they thought when they left you that you wasn't gonna make it? Send them a picture. Do a selfie.
I want to check your stability today, okay? I want to check your emotional stability. Are your emotions stable?
You don't have to have a perfect person to have a marriage. You don't have to have a perfect job to pay the bills. You can make it on broken pieces. Stop focusing on what you lost and start living on what you've got left.
The key is what we do in our times of pain. Pain will change us. Heartache, loss, disappointments, they don't leave us the same. If you go through a divorce, a friend betrays you, eventually that will pass. You'll get through it, but you will be different. Now, how the pain changes you is up to you.
I have learned that every blessing doesn't come to stay. Every relationship wasn't meant to last. Every friend is not going to be a lifelong friend. God will send people in your life for a season because you needed that at that time in your life. And if they walk away, don't stand there at the tomb of what used to be and cry over what was, because if you'd have needed them for the future, they would have stayed.
You can come out bitter or you can come out better. You can come out defeated, giving up on your dreams, or you can come out with a new passion, excited about the new opportunities in front of you. All of us experience pain. My challenge, don't just go through it, grow through it. That difficulty is an opportunity to get stronger, to develop character. Anybody can give up. Anybody can let it overwhelm you. But you know what that's doing? Wasting your pain. That pain is not there to stop you. It's there to prepare you, to increase you, to develop you.
You need to be your own best ally, your own best friend. Don't be against yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. Come on, some of you, your biggest problem right now is you don't like yourself.
You cannot impose your will on me, so you can wish it, you can want it, but you can't make me be what I don't want to be. You have to always keep your heart prepared for rejection. Never get so comfortable in the lap of the applause of men that you actually believe it, because it is easy to love people when other people love them. The hardest time to love people is when everybody turns against them and they're writing about them and they're talking about them and they're in the news and they're in the paper and they're everywhere. And that's why I exalt loyalty above everything else, because I appreciate most not the people who are with me when people are with me. I appreciate people who are with me when everybody turns against me, and you knock on my door and say, I still love you. Now you got clout with me.
What are you going to do when anxiety attacks? This is a time for resistance. This is not a time for you to run. This is a time for you to resist.
The fundamental issue is that life is tragic and difficult, very tragic and difficult for everyone.
For somebody going through tough times, for somebody struggling just to keep your head above water, you're smiling just to keep from crying. You're trying, but things don't seem to be quite working out the way you planned. You're doing everything right, but you're still suffering.
The fear of failure blocks total commitment. Suppose this doesn't work out. Suppose I go down. Suppose I get in trouble. You must understand that this has been going on since the world began.
Worry will make you weak. Living stressed out will make you old, give you wrinkles, take your passion. Being bitter, angry, resentful will shorten your life. Proverbs says a relaxed attitude lengthens life. You can be 80 years old and young at heart. Your spirit never ages.
I find a light in every dark tunnel. And when you have that and you understand that, you're unbreakable.
I don't like the process. I did not want God to order steps. I wanted God to order a blessing. I wanted God to order victory, but instead of ordering victory, he ordered steps. He ordered it. He didn't just offer steps as an option to be selected on a directory of choices. He ordered steps.
You have to have a reason to get out of bed each morning, something that motivates you. Maybe at one time you had a dream, but you went through some disappointments, things didn't work out. But here's the key. When one dream dies, dream another dream. Just because it didn't work out the way you had it planned, doesn't mean God doesn't have another plan.
Things are tragic and difficult, but there's always some stupid thing that you could do or someone else could do that could make it even worse than it has to be. So that's life. And you need an antidote to that because that can embitter you. Okay, so you need something to set against that so you don't get bitter and resentful. Doing something worthwhile. You need some reason to get the hell out of bed on a terrible day because you've got something good to do. But what's the best thing you could do? Transcend your current wretched and miserable self.
That's why some people are easily broken. Being broken is not a hard thing. So those that do get broken, those that do get down, those that do get depressed, I understand. What I also understand is that the encouragement that can come from so many can add value for those that may need a little push. That may need a little, hey man, pick your chin up.
Realize this, just because it's a chapter, it doesn't mean it's your whole story. So for me, I just understand that it's very important to embrace pain, to go through it, because I believe the foundation of all strength is pain.
I've gotten rid of all my problems because I have a choice. Nobody wants to hang out with negative, dark, and dysfunctional people, including certain people in my family. I don't need no negative energy, homie. I want to wake up every day and smile.
This is a softened generation. So if you have any mental toughness, any ability, if you have any fraction of self-discipline, the ability to not want to do it but still do it. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. I'm training my mind and my body and my spirit so it's all one, so I can handle what life is going to throw at me. Because the life I've lived, it throws a whole bunch at you. And if you're not physically and mentally prepared for that, you're just going to crumble, and you're good for nobody.
Because on the other side of that is your growth. On the other side of that is strength. Even in going through pain, like I look at pain as a positive thing. I'm not talking about putting yourself through pain on purpose, but it's just like working out. You know, the only way you're going to get strength in your life is if you go through that hard moment, that tough moment.
Successful people know how to change with the times. They don't get stuck in a rut, doing the same thing the same way year after year. They're constantly evaluating where they are and what they're doing, and they make adjustments so they can improve.
Life is hard. It's tainted by malevolence and betrayal. That can make you bitter. You need a meaning to offset that. Where's the meaning to be found? Not in rights, not in impulsive pleasure, but in responsibility. You take responsibility for yourself. If you're good at it, you have some excess left over to take care of your damn family. Those are heavy burdens. You pick up the burdens, you find that's meaningful. The best way to pick up the burden is to continually improve yourself. And that's where the meaning is to be found. And so that meaning is in the continual self-transcendence. That's letting your old self die and the new self be reborn.
And just because something worked 5 years ago doesn't mean it's still going to work today. We have to stay open for change. This is why many people don't have any enthusiasm. There's no freshness in their life. Every time an opportunity comes for change, for increase, because they're not used to it, they shrink back. They don't realize that's what's keeping them from going to the next level.
Everything you imagine is a preview to a coming attraction. Once you understand that, it opens up a wide range of things and possibilities. Imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attraction. That simply means everything that's in your imagination is a preview of a coming attraction that God has for you. That's why He puts it in your imagination.
And in the coming days, Don't be surprised if God brings new opportunities across your path. You'll be tempted at first to play it safe and think about all the reasons why you can't do it. You have a gift. You have something to offer. Don't use your God-given talents for the wrong purposes.
As you continue to grow and develop, you will soon discover that last year's systems won't likely meet this year's needs. You see, one of the keys to success is flexibility. We must always be on the search for more effective methods to facilitate and accommodate new ideas.
It's not too late to start right where you are. And some of you today, you just need some freshness in your life. Start stretching yourself. You have to stir up what God's put on the inside. If you don't have a dream, you're not really living, you're just existing.
Just check the circle of your friends, because the company you keep tells a whole lot about you. The people around you, the more time you spend with them, I don't care who you are, you're going to become like them. The friends in your life are shaping the future of your life. We're not talking about acquaintances. We're not talking about friends at work. We're talking about our circle of friends.
A lot of people don't ever do the things they're capable of doing because they allow themselves to go along with the crowd, following the crowd. And they find themselves in relationships with people who are addicted to mediocrity, and they allow their behavior to influence their behavior, following the crowd. Many people don't do it because of the fact that they allow their lack of self-confidence to immobilize them.
The older I get, the more and more I am convinced that people are borderline obsessed with what's next. I think it's important that you have a vision for your life, and I think it's important that you have an idea of where you're headed, but if you're not careful, you'll get so obsessed with what's next that you'll miss out on what is right now. If you're in college, everyone's like, where are you gonna work? You work for a little while as a single person, everyone's like, when are you gonna get married? You get married, everyone's like, when are you gonna have kids? I'm like, when are you gonna shut up? People are always pushing us into the next season. Because there is this notion and this idea that somehow the grass is green over the fence on the other side. But it takes a mature man of God to recognize the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is simply green where you choose to water the grass.
Some of you have been doing time on a deadbeat job, and every morning you have to make yourself get up out of the bed and go to work. Pull a smile on your face, because you know you're just serving time. I don't care how bad it looks. I don't care what the circumstance is. Keep the faith. God has not forgotten you. Keep the faith.
Just as God has divine connections lined up for you, people to encourage you, push you forward, He's also lined up people that will try to stop you, discourage you, try to make you look bad. And if you don't understand this principle, you'll get discouraged. That opposition wasn't meant to stop you. It was meant to establish you. When you overcome it, you will not only step into a new level of your destiny, but everyone around you will see the favor of God is on your life.
Well, I think the things that are bad that happen in life can either teach you or break you. And you got to decide what you want them to do. I vote that you allow it to teach you. I vote that you learn from these people, that you learn how to forget about the past, that you learn how to ignore people that are negative, that you learn to control your vengeful ideas, and that you learn to move on into the future where you're going to meet better people and better times are to be had. That's what I would recommend.
Your miracle is never in what you lost. It is always in what you have left. And so when you start looking at what you have left, stop grieving over what you lost. Because if you needed it, you wouldn't have lost it. It might only be a pot of oil, but if it's left, the miracle's always in what's left.
I'm not telling you to change your heart and your desire to help people. What I am trying to tell you is that your circle should not be full of people that are pulling you down. Your circle should be full of people that are pulling you up. Someone say, check your circle. You can't honor people further than you. You can't reach up. Instead, you're more comfortable with everyone at your level or beneath you because it feeds your ego that you're needed. If you're the smartest person in your group, you need another group.
everything magic is challenging. But once you figure out the challenge and go for it, then the magic occurs. Let me tell you how magical people working together is. If 2 or 3 agree on a common purpose, nothing is impossible. Just try that on for your mental size. If 2 or 3 agree on a common purpose, nothing's impossible. Everybody's looking for a challenge. Here's what I teach. Here's the best challenge in the world. Let's go do it. Not you go do it. Let's go do it. If 2 or 3 of us decide on a common purpose to do it, nothing's impossible. Working together, organizing. When everybody's an independent, now it's a little more challenging. It is challenging. You've got a variety. But that's what makes life, the variety.
Don't isolate yourself and think, well, I'm strong enough. I'm tough enough. I'm talented enough. Are you flying solo? Or do you have a community of faith? People flying with you, watching over you, encouraging you, inspiring you.
Here's one of the powers of working together, shared testimonials. If I've got somebody new and you're there and I'm there, I give them my testimonial, you give your testimonial. Maybe what tips the scales in getting me a new person is not my testimonial, but my partner's testimonial, somebody I'm working with. Shared testimonials are so powerful. That's why working together is powerful. Now, working by yourself is okay. All this stuff is okay. Everybody needs to know, though, where are the advantages?
You can be good by yourself, but you can't be great by yourself. You won't become all you were created to be without the right people around you. You can go 60%, but when you get in formation, when you have a family of faith blocking for you, praying for you, encouraging you, you'll go 40% further. Every time we come together, you're being refreshed, re-energized. It's like your batteries are being recharged. What the week took out of you, God is putting back in you.
You support what they're doing. You try and build a relationship with them. That's what you try and do. This part of this that we're talking about, the competitiveness. Like if they want to maneuver and try and make you look bad and jump in the spotlight and try and get all the credit, it's fine. Let them do it. And everyone is going to see what they're doing. And they might not see it immediately, but they will eventually be found out. So do your best to support them. Do your best to help them. Do your best to build the relationship. Make the mission the most important thing, not the little politics that you're about to dive into and get involved in. Don't make that the primary thing. Make the primary thing accomplishing the mission.
I said, do you know how many clients you'd have to get to make $1 million? He was like, absolutely. I was like, bet, we're getting somewhere now.
But as Stephen Hawking said, when you complain, nobody wants to help you.
So what are you made of? What are you prepared to do? Are you holding on to something that won't help you to push the extra mile? That won't help you to push that extra rep that you need? Will you finish what you start? Or will you make excuses?
See, when you go to a job and you already know how far you can go, you can already see that proverbial glass ceiling.
Look, I want you to look at your goals. I want you to ask yourself this question. Do you know what it takes to make that happen? Like, do you, like literally, like, cause this is all it's gonna take. 3 things, it's all it's gonna take. Do you know what it takes? And you guys have an advantage because you've been at this conference, I think, 3 days, you got a whole bunch of information. Look, the only thing it takes to go from where I went to, a homeless, high school dropout, sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash cans. I went from being a high school dropout, getting a GED to having a PhD. Listen to me, the only thing it takes is knowing what it takes. So one day I woke up and was like, okay, E, stop talking about what you don't have. You need to know what you don't know so you can get to where you're trying to get to. Listen to me, guys, I'm real simple. The first thing I'm gonna ask you, do you know what it takes? That's it.
There are many things in your life you have every reason to complain about. You have every reason to be upset by the things that have happened to you. The most sinister thing about excuses is they're valid. There's a million reasons why you should be able to give up. There's a million reasons why you shouldn't need to try. That thing that broke you, you should be allowed to just sit on the ground. And here's the thing, that's your right. You have every reason to do it. And maybe people won't even think less of you. But here's the truth. You either become weaker or stronger in the places that broke, And that's a choice of how you react moving forward. The great news is, the best thing that you could do to become stronger is love yourself. And as Kamal Ravikant said, loving yourself is a practice. People think that it's something that's going to feel right, that it's going to feel natural, that you're just going to turn inward and there it is, this spark of love and joy for yourself, inside yourself. But the truth is, that's just not the human experience. That's not the way that it works. There's going to be a voice inside your head and it's going to blame you.
Now, if you know what it takes, that's great. You mark it off. So now, we're doing real estate. I'm doing solar. Like, I got a lot of stuff going on. And I remember before being in that room with Warren Buffett, I never even thought about making that kind of money. I never thought about making money. But I was sitting in the room with Warren Buffett. A friend of mine, Dan Gilbert, he invited me to the meeting. I'll never forget. He called me like, it was during December, like Christmas, this before Christmas. He called me, he's like, "E, what you doing tomorrow?" I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" He's like, "I've got Warren Buffett here and probably about 30 other guys." I'm like, "What do you mean what's going on? You bring Warren Buffett, nothing going on." Like, what was I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was I doing that was that important that I'm not going to be in the room with Warren Buffett? So I get in the room with Warren Buffett, and what blows my mind is that he's speaking. I just unleashed all your dreams and goals. All your dreams and goals. Look, there are those of you who watch people on TV and you go, oh, and you admire them and you love them. And some of you watch so much TV because you really want to live your dreams through somebody else. You're not ready to do it.
It's going to say that it's your fault. And no matter how many times people on the outside tell you that that is not true, that this thing happened to you, that it isn't you, it doesn't define you, there will be a voice that's going to tell you that it does. And that's where you have to fall back on process. That's where you have to realize that you literally have to practice loving yourself and that it's okay, that no matter what happened, there is absolutely nothing that invalidates that you're worthy of your own love. But you've got to practice it. You've got to be willing to do it. You've got to be willing to put in the reps. You've got to know that it's not going to feel right, but you've got to know on the other side of that is a vision of your life where you actually do love yourself because you took the time to say it. You took the time to practice it. You took the time to sit there and feel stupid and say that you love yourself. And sometimes just putting in the work is what you need to do to get strong. So put in the work.
What is it going to take for you to wake up and realize that in this place, there is no easy. Easy is not the way to go. You can't get strong being easy. You can't get faster being easy. You can't be the best makeup of yourself being easy. Easy won't pay your bills. You can't cash that check being easy. Hard work, determination is the key when you in this place of business. Are you truly ready to show up? Because if you're not ready, you came to the wrong place. Because in this place,
see, when you're going someplace and you already know how much you're going to make, you already know how far you can go, you're in a dead-end position. It erodes your self-esteem. It lowers your sense of yourself. It creates an inner turmoil. It creates an emptiness in you. So I say that your life is worth finding what it is that you're supposed to do. And I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying find it and do just a little bit of it. Just start working at it just a little bit, but do find out what your work is and hold on to it and don't let your dream go. Don't let it go. See, and here's something else I want you to begin to look at. Why is it that most people don't pursue their dreams or don't do better than what they're doing if they're capable of doing it? I think that many of us don't go the next step because we don't know what to do yet. And I say that the reason that we don't even explore the possibility of what to do is because subconsciously we don't believe that it can happen for us and we don't believe that we deserve it.
every individual has to get that blood pumping. Every individual has to go further than they've ever gone in their life. Because accountability must be attached to your purpose of why you showed up here. Ladies and gentlemen, this journey, this opportunity, the abilities that you possess, you got to wake them up again. The moment has come. It is time for you to show up. It is time for you to show out. And there will be obstacles that you must face. And for each obstacle, it will represent something about you.
So here's what I'm suggesting. How much time do you spend working on you? How much time do you spend every day working on your dream? In the last 90 days, how many books have you read? In the last year, what new skill or knowledge have you acquired? What kind of investment have you made in you? So I'm saying that as you begin to look at where you want to go, if you want to make it today, and things are changing so fast, you have to literally run to stand still. I'm saying that you've got to make some conscious effort to begin to work to develop you. Here's something else. Most people are not living their dreams because of fear, ladies and gentlemen. Fear, limited vision, and lack of self-esteem is what keep most people doing things they don't want to do.
Don't stop running toward your dream. It's very important as you hold on to that dream. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times that are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. It's very important for you to know that. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having a character building day. It's very important for you to believe that you are the one to make this happen. I remember this high school teacher, Mr. Leroy Washington, at the end of school one June, it was just a few days before we were supposed to leave, and I just got my report card, and it indicated that I'd failed history, and I'd failed English, and I would have to go to summer school. And I was feeling within myself that I was a failure, that I'm slower than most people in getting paperwork, and I was feeling down on myself and very negative. And Mr. Washington was giving a speech to the graduating seniors, and I was in 11th grade. And even though I wasn't supposed to be in there, I went in there because the speech he was giving, that speech was for me. And as he talked, my heart began to beat fast. Tears began to run by my eyes, and I was in the back just listening to him because he said, and he was a very dramatic man. I still talk to him to this day. He said, as graduating seniors of Booker T. Washington High School, I want you to know that you're blessed and highly favored, and that as you go toward the future, begin to know that you have greatness within you. And if just one of you here begin to envision yourself as being blessed and highly favored to reach your goal, if just one of you capture the essence of what that means, that you have greatness within you and a responsibility to manifest that greatness, that you can make your parents proud, you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same again because you came this way. And the students gave him a rousing standing ovation. And as he left the auditorium, I ran down the steps and I caught him in the parking lot. I said, Mr. Washington? He said, yes. I said, do you remember me, sir? He said, no. I said, my name is Leslie Brown. My mother, she works in the cafeteria here. I'm one of the twins, Leslie and Wesley. I said, Mr. Washington, but you know, I got these big dreams. You know, I like talking to people. I love people. I said, I want to work with people, and I got this dream of buying my mama a home. Could I do that, Mr. Washington? He said, it's possible, Mr. Brown. And as he walked away, I called him again. I said, Mr. Washington? He said, what do you want now? I said, I'm the one, sir. I said, I'm the one. You remember me, sir. I'm this Mamie Brown's boy. I'm the one. I'm the one. And you must feel that that's why you're here, because you are the one. And I remember when PBS first played one of my specials called You Deserve, one Sunday afternoon in Miami, Florida. I had some friends call him to tell him to tune in. And he watched the program. He called me in Detroit, and I answered the phone. I said, hello. He said, may I speak to Les Brown, please? I said, who's calling? He said, you know who this is. I said, oh, Mr. Washington, it's you. He said, you were the one, weren't you? I said, yes, sir. He said, and you were so crazy. I said, I know, but I'm rich now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be easy. It was hard laying on the floor of the Penobscot building, looking out of the window, daydreaming, saying, Les, can you do this? Can you make this happen? I used to listen to tapes day in and day out about See You at the Top, my great friend Zig, and Dennis Waitley, and different other motivational speakers, and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, and Dexter saying, don't let nobody steal your dream. I used to ask myself, can I do this? And something said within me, you're the one. You're the one. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. While you're here, and before you go back home to your respective cities and communities, write down at least 5 reasons on why you deserve your dream, on why you won't give up, what's going to make you unstoppable, why you must be unreasonable, because logical, practical thinking says you can't do it today. But if you want to produce unreasonable results in your life, like living your dream and taking charge of your destiny, you've got to be an unreasonable person. You've got to be an uncommon person. So write down the reasons of why you're here. My first major goal was to buy my mother a home. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. What will reasons do, Les? Nietzsche said, if you know the why for doing, you can endure almost anyhow. What do you mean by that? If you know why you're doing something, when the hard times come, and they're going to come, when the disappointments and the rejections come, and they're going to come by the truckloads, your reasons will be your rod and staff to comfort you, to pick you up. Once again, I got a saying on one of my tapes, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Let your reasons get you back up. I remember when I bought the home for my mother, and she came out of the car. When I opened the door, I said, Mom, I think I know these people in this house. That was my first major goal. And then I couldn't conceal it anymore. I said, Mom, I got this for you. And as she went from room to room, looking at the house and saying, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. No one ever could have convinced me that this could have happened to me. And she looked at me, she said, Leslie, and you caused me so much problems as a boy. You were always into stuff. She said, no one could have convinced me that day when I walked in that house and this lady was holding you and your brother. And she said, ma'am, I want you to promise me 2 things. And she said, what is it? She says, 1, promise me that you won't separate them. She said, I want them raised together. I want them to know each other. I got pregnant while my husband was away in the war, and I can't keep them. Promise me that you won't separate them.
She said, I promise I won't. I've never had children. I promise I won't separate them. And she said, promise me that you'll never tell him about who I am, because if my husband ever found out, he would kill me. She said, I promise. And she said that she gave him to us, and she kind of cried, and she was walking out the door, and she looked at my adopted mother. She said, remember, don't you separate them. She said, I swear to God, I won't separate them. I'll keep them together. And she said, as I held y'all in my arms, I never had any children of my own. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew with the help of God, I will do it. And ladies and gentlemen, my mother had a dream of having children and raising us. She didn't know how she's going to do it. You're going to be just like that. And some of you are already there. Well, you don't know how. But you just feel within yourself some way, somehow, with the help of God, I'm going to make it happen. Repeat after me, please. No matter how bad it is, or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you got the right stuff. So yes, it's possible for you to live your dream. It's necessary that you associate with winners, that you work your system, that you are relentless, that you never give up. It's you. You've got to take personal responsibility. You've got to make it your personal business to make it happen. And you've got to resolve within yourself that I can do this, that it's hard. But you've got to say, I'm the one. I'm the one to make this happen. I'm the one to become successful in this business. As you work to help other people to become successful, that feeds your success. But you know it's going to be hard, but find out what will make it worth it for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make your dream become reality, the people that are running at their dreams know that it's possible that you can live your dream. That it's necessary that you're relentless, that you have a plan of action, that you are creative. The people that are living their dream are finding winners to attach themselves to. The people that are living their dreams are the people that know that if it's going to happen, it's up to them. And they're resolving within themselves, it's not over until I win. The people that are running after their dream know they're going to have hard times. They keep on running because they're saying within themselves, I'm the one. I'm the one. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. The people that are running after their dreams are the people that are hungry. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you got to be hungry. And as you run towards your dream,
I want to dedicate this to you that I love very much. I want to thank Dexter and all of you. It's something that I'm known by. It's on our tapes called Choosing Your Future, and it says simply this, that if you want a thing bad enough to go... for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish or gulf, sickness or pain or body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God you'll get it. This is Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, Leslie Calvin Brown, saying it's been a plumb pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. Thank you.